And so there's this famous story of Krishna with the gopis. So Krishna's father had to put him into hiding when he was born because there was a wicked king who was looking to kill him. So Krishna's father took him to the village of the cow herds. So, these were the families that looked after the cows. And so the boys there were called the Gopalas. So they were the cow herd boys, and the gopis were the cow herd girls. So Krishna was given to this family, and he was brought up as a cowherd. So he was like a shepherd for cows. He was out there looking after the cows, taking them to the water. And so that's why people who worship Krishna, they have this great love for the cows as well. The cow is a sacred animal. But there's this famous story that one day all of the cow herd girls, the gopis, they were all swimming, they were bathing in the river. So they'd gone down to the river, they'd removed all of their clothing, and they were bathing in the river. And they had hung their saris in the trees around the edge of the river. They perhaps washed them and they were drying them, and they were all naked in the river. And then Krishna comes along, and Krishna's this wonderful, he was seen as just the height of charm and beauty. Everything about him was, just so magical. Even from a very young age, people saw and recognized that in him. And what he did was he quickly went around and he collected up all of the cowherd girls, the gopis, their saris, and then he climbed up in a tree. And he told them, I have all of your clothing now. You have to come out of the water and, come to me, and then I will gift you back your saris. And so you would think that this is some sort of totally scandalous behavior. If you look at it from, a moral point of view, or say, here's this teenage boy, and, he's taking all of the girls' clothing, and, he's wanting to see them in their nakedness. And so it'd be very, very easy for you to misunderstand the story. And, the cowherd girls immediately are like, no, we can't come out. We're naked. And he said, well, if it was fine for you to go into the river naked, it's fine for you to come out of the river naked. And I'm not leaving, and I have all of your clothing. So the only way you will get it back is by coming and receiving it from me. And so if we look at it on the human level, it's like, well, how is this a sacred and divine story? And so what you need to do to understand the story is you need to look at it from the very highest point of view. So you have to say, okay, who is Krishna? So Krishna is the manifestation of the divine. He is the highest divine consciousness. And then who are the gopis? And the gopis are the individual souls. And so what this story is really revealing is if you really want to come back and really be blessed and connected with the highest consciousness, the highest divinity, you have to give up all of your self-consciousness, even the self-consciousness of your body, of your nakedness. And so just in the same way that we talk about in the story of Adam and Eve, once Adam ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, he suddenly became self-conscious. And so he no longer wanted to walk with God because he was naked. And so this is like the reverse of that story, that God is saying, no, come to me in your nakedness. Because to have oneness between the divine, the infinite divine or the universal divine, and then our limited human self, they'd call it the para-atman and the jivatman. So it's like the divine universal and the individual. We have to give up all conception of our separation. And we have to be willing to even give up that attachment to our own body to be able to truly return. So when you look at it that way, you see, wow, it's like this profoundly divine story, because each of them came to Krishna and Krishna blessed them and gave them their sari back. And so when you understand the way to see these stories properly, you see that within them there's such a profundity, which I think modern man has become woefully inept at understanding ancient stories, or just understanding stories in general, because we've become so literal that we can no longer imagine and see the message that's actually hidden or entwined inside the story.